What is going on, guys? It's your boy Gamers Goon here today to talk about both NXT Takeover and SummerSlam. We're putting it on the same show here today. We're actually going to talk about Takeover first because it did come first by the date. And I'm not going to lie. Takeover, it was a great show. But I would not be lying here if I told you SummerSlam gave it a run for its money this year. SummerSlam usually isn't that great of an event. Very underwhelming. Last year was awful. This year's SummerSlam, I feel like they stepped it up a little bit. They definitely forgot about whatever they tried to do last year. They made it more interesting, to me at least. I really did enjoy SummerSlam. There was a couple matches that I wasn't really for on SummerSlam's card. We'll talk about that later. But first, we're going to talk about NXT, which, by the way, NXT, hands down, they put on a great show. They might have put on the best show of the year. They might have. This NXT's just one-upping themselves every single time. And it all starts at the very bottom with guys like Velveteen Dream and EC3 in feuds that don't have a title, but it's a good feud. The feud from EC3 and Velveteen Dream, all stimulated from Royal Albert Hall, and we saw Velveteen Dream fake his injury, walk away from EC3, and EC3 was like, it could have been EC Dream. It was a dream team, EC Dream. But Velveteen, he acted like he didn't even remember it. He was like, the Dream has no memory of Royal Albert Hall. And then we see them over at Velveteen's little mansion area. I guess it's his. It looked more like an apartment suite or a complex suite or something like of that nature. But we saw Velveteen at the pool, invites EC3 over. EC3 throws him in the pool. So EC3 had the leg up going into Takeover Brooklyn, and honestly, I was like, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna forget all what EC3's done, and I'm gonna think that EC3 is gonna win. EC3 hasn't had a big match on a pay-per-view for NXT one-on-one. He had the one at Takeover New Orleans. Don't get me wrong, good match. He did okay in it, but I was like, EC3 has to win this one. Velveteen Dream, if he loses, nothing happens to him. He's lost big match after big match. He's lost to Alistair. He's lost all over the card. He is not exactly a winner. He lost to Ricochet. We'll talk about Ricochet later. Great thing from Ricochet tonight. But Velveteen Dreams, he's been eating losses, and he's still one of the hottest, if not the hottest, talents in the entire company. Everybody loves Velveteen Dream. People love his gimmick. Something about Velveteen Dream gets the fans on his side. I'm not sure what it is. Whether it's his charisma. Maybe. Maybe it's just his talent in the ring. Very well could be. He is a really good performer inside those ropes. But I did not expect Velveteen Dream to pick up the victory over EC3 because everybody loves Velveteen and it wasn't going to change. EC3 needed a big win, and I was like, okay. Velveteen Dream, he can gain a lot from a win at a big takeover. So could EC3. I think what you look at in this situation is Velveteen Dream can gain a lot from beating EC3. EC3 can also gain a lot. But if somebody were to lose in this match, who takes the less fall for it? Velveteen Dream, he's Velveteen Dream. He can do whatever he wants when he wants. Everybody loves him. They're not going to question Velveteen. EC3 now, people can question him. Maybe he's just that TNA talent. Maybe he's just one of those hot free agents that come in and turn out to be a failure, like James Storm was. Maybe. But anyways, Velveteen Dream in this match had a very good showing, and he ended up beating EC3 a little unexpectedly, had a little roll-up. I was like, okay, Velveteen, I like that. Velveteen Dream and EC3 probably put on a decent 3 or 4 star match there. It was a really good match. Got the crowd hyped for the rest of the show. It wasn't that wasn't the opener. I wanted to start at the bottom of the card, but that wasn't the show opener. The show opener was Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain, and boy, did they show you how a tag team can wrestle. There was one point at this match where I was like, oh no. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, they're about to pick up the championships. They are about to do it. Trent Seven got in off the hottest tag I've ever seen from Tyler Bate. He gets in, he's going crazy. He is going absolutely crazy on Undisputed Era. He does not have a care in the world, and he was getting a great reaction from Brooklyn. But little did you forget, Undisputed Era, they think these things through. Undisputed Era picked up the victory at the end because they stabilized the beast that was Trent Seven in the match. Most of the match was around Trent Seven on the outside, and Tyler Bate, he's being worked on by both Fish and Strong, or not Fish, O'Reilly and Strong. He's being worked on by both of them in the middle of the ring, and then they bring him back over to their side. Every time he goes for the hot tag, doesn't happen. One of Strong or O'Reilly pulls out the feet of Trent Seven. They go and stop him from tagging in. Tyler Bate can't tag in. It was built around the anticipation. What if Trent Seven gets in? And when he gets in, he went off. He made everybody think he was about to win the title. He made everybody think Mustache Mountain was walking out of Brooklyn. Your new WWE NXT Tag Team Champions. But Undisputed Era, they shocked us all. They shocked the system yet again. And Undisputed Era picked up a victory, and I'm not against it. Mustache Mountain, don't get me wrong, I like Mustache Mountain. But for the Undisputed Era to lose a big takeover match and to lose a televised tag team championship match, no. You need something coming in. Whether that be something that we haven't seen yet on WWE programming or NXT. Whether that be the Street Profits, maybe. Maybe you go and get the Briscoe brothers. Maybe the Young Bucks come in at the beginning of next year and take them out. I don't know. But the Undisputed Era, I think, should hold the titles until at least next year's WrestleMania weekend. That is my personal opinion. And we are going to move on to the Ricochet and Adam Cole match. Probably the match of the entire weekend based on the finish. There was a higher work rate match on SummerSlam, which we will talk about later. But the big ending here was great. Ricochet and Adam Cole, they were already having a great match in the middle of the ring. Ricochet, he was trying to hit a 650 splash, couldn't do it the first time, so on and so forth. Adam Cole's just trying to get Ricochet down. And then at the end, Ricochet hits his 650 splash in the middle of the ring. He starts pinning him. 1, 2. We're all looking around. We expect Adam Cole to kick out. Don't get me wrong. Everybody looked at each other like, he's kicking out. But he didn't. Adam Cole didn't kick out. Ricochet won the belt. Just like that. It was a good, probably 20-minute match. Maybe a little less. I'm not sure. It was a really good match for what it standed for. Ricochet, at the end of that match, he got the new North American Championship, and it was a great visual on the way out. Him holding it up, rolls the new champion Ricochet thing, goes on to a commercial, and then we're gonna get in to Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Now this is a match where I was pretty confident on it. Yeah, I was pretty confident on this prediction. I said that Shayna Baszler was not going to lose at Takeover Brooklyn. I said it. And quite frankly, I still believe it. I still think Shayna Baszler shouldn't have lost at Takeover Brooklyn. Not against Kairi Sane. Now, Kairi Sane, don't get me wrong, she is really good. She is probably one of the best things, if not the best thing from the Mae Young Classic last year, outside of Toni Storm. Maybe you throw a Dakota Kai or a Piper Niven in there. Maybe. But Kairi Sane is talented. We know that. We know Kairi Sane's talented. What really shocked me is Shayna Baszler. She was playing a really good heel. She had Kairi Sane down. She had Dakota Kai down. She had Nikki Cross at one point. And she also had Candice LeRae. And the one she decided to pick on the most was Candice LeRae. She really went after Candice. Candice, obviously, just like her husband, a very over baby face. Very over, big bad heel. In Gargano's situation, it's Ciampa. And in LeRae's situation, it's Baszler. Baszler's the big bully of the women's division down in NXT. So I'm thinking, okay, so Candice LeRae is going to get a match at Survivor Series weekend or Royal Rumble weekend. I don't care which one. She is going to pick up the victory, and she is going to dethrone Shayna Baszler. And Baszler is going to move on to the main roster. She's going to be on Raw. She's not going to SmackDown. Baszler is not going to SmackDown. She is not going to touch SmackDown. Top heel on SmackDown is going to be discussed later for the women's division, after what we've seen on SummerSlam. But Kairi Sane picking up the victory over Shayna Baszler, I think, was a little too soon. I don't think Kairi Sane was built up enough as the big babyface to overcome Shayna Baszler, because Shayna Baszler had that feeling about her that she's the legit heel. You want to see somebody beat her. But when you want to see somebody beat her, you want to have the biggest pop, like the Daniel Bryan Mania pop. You want that kind of pop when Baszler gets the title offer, because people don't like Shayna Baszler. No. I think Candice LeRae was the right decision. I'm not going to argue against Kairi Sane. Don't get me wrong. I love Kairi Sane. She is dang good at what she does. But I think it was a little too soon to place the title on Kairi Sane. I think it should have went to Candice LeRae. And then maybe we get a Candice LeRae Kairi Sane where Kairi Sane takes the title off her. But I think it was way too soon to put the title on Kairi Sane. And next we are going to talk about the best last man standing match that left me speechless yet again. Every time Gargano and Ciampa step in the ring, we're all thinking, what are they going to do next? We had the one in Takeover New Orleans. Really good match. I loved it. It was an unsanctioned match. Johnny Gargano finally, after how many months? 6 months? A year? Or half a year maybe? Ever since TakeOver Chicago, when Ciampa turned on Gargano, he finally gets his revenge. He's holding the crutch up at the end of the show. I was there live looking at it. It was beautiful. He hugs Candice, holding the crutch up. Great moment. Then we fast forward. TakeOver Chicago 2. We get a Chicago street fight. Johnny Gargano and Ciampa putting on a show. We see handcuffs introduced. Usually, you get handcuffs introduced. You don't see the one with the handcuffs on in a fight. But this time, Ciampa picks up the victory. Ciampa beat Gargano. So going into TakeOver Brooklyn, they're tied 1-1. This is the match to decide it all in this 3-match series. Don't get me wrong, it's probably going to go longer. But for now, 3-match series. We have Ciampa and Gargano. Again. Aleister Black was withdrawn from the equation from some outside source that we don't know yet. He was attacked, and now we get a last man standing match between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Am I going to argue with seeing these two in the same ring against each other? No. Don't get me wrong. I'm never going to argue. I can watch their matches for most of the year. I would rather watch their matches than Raw. But tonight wasn't an exception. It was not a single exception here. We get a last man standing match, which was one of the most creative last man standing matches I've seen in a very long time. I didn't expect this thing to leave me speechless like it did in Chicago, or it did in New Orleans. I figured We're going to have a foregone conclusion. Ciampa's going to win. There's not going to be any loophole or situation where Gargano has another comeback, but he will find a way in about a couple months from now after the next takeover when Aleister Black gets his rematch. So that's what I was thinking. But what we got is we had one of the most brutal last man standing matches I've seen. Ciampa went through a table. Gargano went through a table. There was at one point where they'd stack 2 tables on top of each other. It was a very hectic match. We see the handcuffs brought back out. Ciampa's trying to get him on Gargano. Doesn't happen like that. Gargano tries to get him on Ciampa. Only gets it on one. Can't finish the job. Then they go up to the very entrance ramp where they come out. He has one handcuff on him. Johnny Gargano starts using his brain. He handcuffs him to I don't know, I guess it's one of the LED lighting boards. He's handcuffed to one of those on the edge of the stage. He super kick after super kick after super kick. Showing Ciampa, Gargano is, that he should have never messed with Johnny Wrestling. Then, out of nowhere, he pulls down his little knee pad, getting ready to end it. And Johnny Gargano is ready to end Tommaso Ciampa once and for all. Leave his knee in the side of his skull. He gets a running start. Hits Ciampa. But he falls over Ciampa. He hits one of the little stereo boxes for the promos or whatever. Hits one of those. Then falls into a table. Rolls off the table. And the referee starts counting. Goes along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We see both men sturtling at 7. 8. Both men are sturtling. Gargano's about to get up. 9. Gargano gets up and collapses. He doesn't even get up. He tries to get up and can't even get up. He collapses before he gets up. Because he hurt his knee. He can't stand. He cannot stand. And then we hear the 10. We look over. Ciampa's standing. Ciampa, he rolled off the stage because he was on the stage. He rolls off the stage and he's still handcuffed to the LED board, but he's like barely standing. And Ciampa, he wins the match. Ciampa goes out of Takeover Brooklyn while they're rolling the credits, holding it up, talking all this trash to Johnny Wrestling. And Takeover Brooklyn, to end it with such a great last man standing match, you can't ask for anything better. Now we're going to get into the SummerSlam card. The SummerSlam card, it was off on a very, very slow start on the pre-show. Very slow. The pre-show was nothing to be excited about. We had Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega versus Lana and Rusev. And Lana here got beat by Zelina Vega. Who cares? Really? Who cares? Next we had this was the good match on the pre-show. This was the only good thing about the pre-show. The rest of it was trash. We had Cedric Alexander and Drew Gulak. This match didn't go as long as I hoped it would have, but obviously Cedric Alexander, being as good as he is, he kind of carried this match. There was points in this match where Gulak was going on the athleticism level and reversing pins and doing all this stuff with Cedric Alexander. Alexander did pick up the victory, and Alexander, I cannot wait to see him fight Lio Rush in the inevitable future. Next, we have the B Team and the Revival. Not going to talk too much about this. I thought the Revival were going to win. They did not. The Revival actually lost to the B Team. I thought, you know what? We're going to see Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Top guys. Yeah, we're going to see him at the top. Nah. That'd be too smart of them to do. That'd be too smart for them to just wipe away the B Team. In honor of the top guys. Top guys on Raw. I wish they would have. But we're actually going to get into the highest work rate match of the entire weekend. Actually, I take that back. take that back. You thought we were gonna get into that, but I'm not. I'm gonna get into the second highest work rating match. It's gonna be Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler. This match was really good. I did enjoy this one. It went on for about 20-25 minutes, something along there. We had Drew McIntyre. By the way, Drew McIntyre is a beast. Can't say that enough. We had Dean Ambrose in the corner of Seth Rollins. He also looks like a beast. Great look for Dean Ambrose. We had both of them in the corner. At one point during this match, Seth Rollins, he's about to hit the curb stomp on Dolph Ziggler. But on the outside, Drew McIntyre takes advantage of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose's friendship. He hits a Claymore on to Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins turns around. He's like, hey, what's that for? Then he's turning around. And Ziggler's wind up his super kick. He's going for it. But Rollins was expecting it. And he gets his super kick first. And Rollins picks up the victory. It turns out Rollins was faster than Ziggler. I like the story they told me from that. This match was good. Throughout the entire match, we were hearing the story about Rollins' knee. It's been the entire story ever since he returned from his injury in the first place. But Rollins needed this win. He did. They weren't going anywhere with Dolph Ziggler. It was a big pop moment. What they should have done is they should have gave it to Drew. They should have gave the title to Drew, and Drew would have been able to win at SummerSlam. Rollins is probably the best thing going on Monday Night Raw right now. You can't change anything about Monday Night Rollins. He does what he needs to do. He puts on 5-star matches, or if not 5-star, 4-star. He is putting in the most work out of everybody on Monday Night Raw. And he deserves the title. Now, he's obviously not going to be the Universal Champion, and nor would I want him to be the Universal Champion, due to the Universal Champion's past history with only being on Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, and the winner of the main event tonight. So, Rollins did pick up the victory over Dolph Ziggler, and that was a decent match. Now we're going to get into a match that I did not like on the show. The New Day picked up a disqualification win over the Bludgeon Brothers when the New Day was looking for the up, up, down, down, and Eric Rowan introduced his little hammer. Disqualification there. Can't do that, buddy. Can't do that. New Day picks up the victory over the Bludgeons. And I'm not really glad about that because the Bludgeon Brothers haven't done anything. The New Day needs something. They need something. Now, I don't know if the New Day is going to win the titles inevitably, or if we're going to see somebody like the Bar or the Usos. Maybe Sanity. Maybe one of them get a chance. But the New Day did not pick up the win, and I hate to see that because I'm not a huge fan on the Bludgeon Brothers right now. Next, we're going to get into a match which a lot of people were telling me was a little disappointing, but I was like, okay, I don't really care. That's what that match needed to do. It asserted his dominance, and it made a statement. It made a statement tonight when Braun Strowman beat Kevin Owens in under 2 minutes. He beat him in 1:50. We saw the counter, and Braun Strowman beat Kevin Owens in 1:50. I did not stutter. Kevin Owens got exactly what Braun Strowman said he was going to do. Braun Strowman tore Kevin Owens apart, and I don't know what to tell you. Kevin Owens stepped in the wrong spot. Braun Strowman is not a guy you want to mess with, and Braun Strowman made that very clear in the minute that he had in the ring with Kevin Owens. You don't mess with Braun Strowman in his briefcase. No. You don't do that. Braun Strowman did what he needed to do in this situation. We're going to talk about a later situation with Braun. But in this very particular situation, Braun Strowman did what he needed to do. Next, we're going to talk about my favorite part of the night. Not my favorite match of the night, but my favorite part of the night. We get Charlotte versus Becky versus Carmella. Now, in this match, we've seen Becky have the whatever her finisher is, fluff, I forget it. She had it locked in on Charlotte to disarm her, my bad. She had it locked in on Charlotte. Charlotte's about to tap. Carmella comes in. Gets Carmella out of the ring again. Does the same thing. Disarm her on Charlotte. Can't quite do anything. Then Charlotte goes to Mella. She has the figure 4 and the figure 8 locked in. Becky makes a save. Then she hits the disarmer on Carmella. And at one point, I'm like, you know what? Becky is going to win this match. Carmella's tapping out. She is tapping out. That would be too predictable now, wouldn't it? That would be a little bit too predictable. To have Becky win the match she was given. So, Charlotte, she ends up getting the victory all of a sudden. I'm like, what? I should have knew, because Charlotte came out with the most fancy ring gear she's ever came out with. Just straight up hot pink. And her top, woo, was she pushing that up. But anyways, Charlotte picks up the victory. Now after the match, we're staring. We're like, are you serious? You gave Becky Lynch's opportunity, the thing we've all been waiting for, so you can get an 8th title reign out of the Flair in 3 years of her being on the main roster. You know, everybody was thinking it. We're all mad. Then we see Becky hug Charlotte. We're like, oh yeah. I knew exactly where this was going. I saw her hug her, and I'm like, turn heel! Turn heel! I was ready for it. Becky turned heel. And boy, was it great. Was it great. She does what she needs to do to Charlotte. And then she goes walking back to the back with the cockiest look I've ever seen on her face. Oh my lord. Are we in for a treat now? If Carmella was the top heel on SmackDown, you can step to the side, honey. Because we got a new top heel on SmackDown Live, and it's Becky Lynch. Now, if you think about top heels on SmackDown, you're not going to say Carmella's a huge name. She's really not. Asuka, Charlotte, Becky. 3 biggest names on SmackDown Live. You could throw maybe the Iconics in there. Probably doubt it. The Iconics are not going to be top heels. We know that. They're not going to do something crazy like the Bellas did. I'm not expecting anything like that or of that sorts. But I do expect Becky Lynch to win at Evolution. I expect Charlotte to be a placeholder champion, and I expect Becky Lynch to be the top heel on SmackDown until at least WrestleMania. At least. Because they're moving Charlotte over to Raw. You know that's happening. Because she's fighting Ronda for that women's championship that Ronda just so casually got on the same night Charlotte got hers. You know Becky is going to be holding it because she doesn't have to fight Charlotte. She's going to fight Asuka at WrestleMania 35 in Brooklyn. And I think we might just get a Becky win. I think we might have Becky beat Asuka. Anyways, we are going to move on from that. We're going to talk about The Miz and Daniel Bryan. Now, everybody loves Daniel Bryan, and everybody loves that The Miz is a bad guy. Everybody loves the heel Miz, but they love to boo him. Something about him. The Miz, he's a cocky little guy. He is. And Daniel Bryan is relatable for most of the audience. People love him. They started to love him when the big bad boss that Daniel Bryan was against always was against him. And he revolted. He became something. He overpowered his boss and took what was his. That's something a lot of people can relate to. You know, it's always a feel-good story when it happens. Daniel Bryan on SummerSlam, I knew Daniel Bryan was not going to win this match. Now, I've been hearing a lot of speculation and rumors about Daniel Bryan's contract situation right now. And from what is out there publicly, Daniel Bryan has not re-signed with the WWE. But from what I know personally, and what I've heard from a couple sources, that have not been publicized yet. I'm hearing that Daniel Bryan's staying. I'm hearing that Daniel Bryan is going to stay in the WWE. I'm hearing Daniel Bryan is going to make a nice little deal. And I think Daniel Bryan, if what I'm hearing is true, I think Daniel Bryan might be the next guy to beat The Miz at WrestleMania 35. This was just a little cheese in the salad, if you know what I'm saying. This was meant for a bigger picture. This was meant for the promotional video of WrestleMania. They'll use parts and pieces of what they used tonight in their promo package. But they're going to use this as well as whatever is to come as the main story for WrestleMania. He didn't beat him the first time, even though he showed all this hate and all this remorse towards The Miz. Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania is going to win if he fights The Miz. But at SummerSlam, The Miz had the upper hand. The Miz did what he needed to do, and in this case, he had Maurice sit ringside with his probably fake baby. Daniel Bryan took him out. He had The Miz all dazzled. Miz leaning over, getting hugged by Maurice. Maurice so conveniently has some brass knuckles, slips him on the hands. Miz faking an injury. Daniel Bryan comes to do one of the dives from the middle rope, right in the head, and then he's stumbling over like he's tired. Drops him back into Maurice's hands. She slides him back in. Referee never saw anything. 1, 2, 3. Daniel Bryan lost. The Miz outthought Daniel Bryan tonight. Next, we are going to talk about one of, if not, probably the best surprise of the night. Now, Ricochet was a surprise the night before. I guess you can call Rollins a surprise, but this wasn't really a surprise due to the outcome. This was more of a surprise due to the character. We had Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin, and we all know when Finn Balor comes, there's always a distinct possibility of the Demon King. And I had my face painted last night. It wasn't as the Demon King, it was as Jeff Hardy. But I was like, you know what? I think I messed up. I think Balor might be the Demon tonight. And Balor comes out dressed as the Demon. I'm like, oh boy. I have a little screenshot on my phone that I saved. It is the most beautiful and majestic picture. He has his hands in the air with all the smoke around him and that beautiful, beautiful body paint from SummerSlam. It's a great sight. Balor, he did beat Corbin. Corbin didn't know, he wasn't expecting the Demon King, so he was a little startled the entire match. Ended up losing clean to Balor. Not anything I didn't expect. Balor looked really good. He looked like he had a pep in his step, and Finn Balor did what he needed to do with the Demon. I think we're going to see some more of the Demon going forward. Not necessarily every single pay-per-view. More like probably the top 5 pay-per-views, Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, and, of course, WrestleMania. I think we might get that going again. Hopefully, we get to see that with Balor. Next, we're going to talk about Nakamura and Jeff Hardy. 2 face paint matches in a row. I know, it's crazy. So, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy. There was a point in this match where Shinsuke Nakamura tried to go for a low blow. Couldn't quite capitalize on it. This match was decent. Jeff, he had a brutal spot. He had a swanton, went for the pin, didn't get it. So Nakamura rolls onto the outside on where the side of the ring apron is, on the edge. And Jeff Hardy, being that crazy little guy he is, he goes up to the top rope and he's going to do a swanton onto the edge of the ring rope and onto Shinsuke Nakamura. Doesn't quite land it, but he lands on his back on the edge of the ring apron. It looked bad. I was like, ooh. That made me grimace. I'm like, ooh, that can't feel good. And that was the point where everything changed. Nakamura goes in the ring. He does what he needed to do. Beats Jeff Hardy. And Shinsuke Nakamura is the United States champion. Still. Next, we're going to talk about the best match of the night on work rate, and it is going to be AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. That's why I withdrew my statement from Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler earlier in the show. AJ and Joe, obviously we know their background in TNA and ROH respectively. We know about New Japan for AJ Styles. We know both these men have had a lot of wars in the past, and we knew that it was going to be good when we brought Wendy Styles into this situation. You don't bring a man's family, especially not AJ Styles. In a feud, when you bring AJ Styles' family into this, I'm expecting a lot. And what we got tonight was a lot. In this match, Samoa Joe had it. He had it won. He had the coquina clutch at one point. And then AJ escapes, goes to the outside. Joe goes on to the announcer's desk, takes the microphone, and he's like, Wendy, I told you Daddy was coming home tonight. But AJ don't look like he's coming home. But I'll be your new daddy. That had everybody cracking up. Oh my Lord, was that hilarious. And then, at one point, he started to talk trash to AJ. Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? And then he busted up AJ. And during this match, AJ, he was just taking everything. He was like, you know what? I can't do this. AJ Styles had to do what AJ Styles had to do. When Samoa Joe started talking about his family, AJ Styles was like, I'll just make him pay inside the ring. But AJ Styles didn't realize that he was going to go after his daughter and his wife and all this. On the show, in their face, right there and up and personal. AJ Styles already bloody. He grabs the chair. He just keeps going and going and going and going on Joe. He takes Joe and runs him through the side of the ring, or the barricade at one point. Then AJ is walking over. He goes and he gets to his daughter and his wife, and he's talking to them, and he's like, it's okay, Daddy's here. And she's like, I don't want anything to do with you. You're bleeding, Daddy. And AJ's like, I'm sorry, and then gives it back to Wendy. They start walking out. It was very personal with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. Very much needed. It made Samoa Joe look like a complete and utter mega heel. And AJ Styles, it finally hit AJ Styles that he was going after his family. AJ Styles realized what he had to do. And AJ Styles made a bold decision by going after Samoa Joe like he did. Next, we're going to talk about Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. It got exactly what it needed to do in 4 minutes. Ronda Rousey beat Alexa Bliss just like I said she should have. Complete squash. Alexa Bliss got absolutely zero offense in the entire match. There was hip tosses. There was arm bars. And most of it was Ronda Rousey chasing. Then she gets in. She hooks on the arm bar. Alexa doesn't want to tap. And then she yanks it back and taps out. I thought we were going to get the part where Alexa fakes like she broke her arm. And for some reason, Ronda would be like, oh, I didn't actually want to do that. But no. It's a complete and utter squash. Ronda Rousey looked great. I can't wait for Ronda Rousey on Monday Night Raw. I don't know what her makeup was. Same with Becky. But Ronda won, and she deserved it. She did deserve to beat Alexa Bliss. Don't get me wrong. Now, I had a lot of people saying, why do you want Ronda to win? She hasn't done anything. Well, she's put on more entertaining matches than Alexa Bliss. And if I look at your Twitter past, you wanted Alexa Bliss to be the champion. Yeah, buddy. Also, she's done better than Nia Jax, even though Nia Jax brought her to the best match that Ronda's had in her WWE career so far. And she's also done better than who? Let's say Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose. Do I need to keep continuing? I'm not gonna keep continuing, but the only two people that have been better than her, well, actually 3 people, because I'm not gonna put Bayley up in there. I'm not. But Ruby Riott, Ember Moon, and Sasha Banks have all been at the top of their game ever since WrestleMania season ended. And Ronda Rousey, obviously, is the bigger name out of everybody, so she's going to get the notoriety. But I assume Sasha Banks and Ruby and Ember, they're all moving over to SmackDown because the main feud is going to be Charlotte and Ronda. There's no other way. There's no other way. Next, we're going to talk about the match of the night. You thought I thought it was a match of the night? Oh, heck no. This was a match that shocked everybody, though. So we have Roman Reigns do his entrance. We had Brock Lesnar do his. Then we have Braun Strowman walk on down to the ring. He had his Money in the Bank briefcase. He's like, I am cashing this in on the winner. I'm going to stand right here, ringside, and watch you two fight. And whoever wins, I'm cashing in on you right now. Brock Lesnar, very, very worried about Braun Strowman at ringside. Turns around, Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, spear. Lesnar rolls on out, comes back in. Then Suplex City. Roman goes on to the outside. Lesnar goes on to the outside. Lesnar, he's going after Reigns, takes him to Suplex City, and then Lesnar has the thought. He's like, wait a minute. Strowman's right next to me. I could F5 this sucker, put him out, and guess what? I win. So he F5s Braun Strowman. And then he rolls Roman in the ring. Roman hits a spear. Just one spear. It was just finishers, really. One spear. He pins Brock Lesnar 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. I'm thinking, you know what? Braun is going to get up. He's going to cash in his briefcase. And he is going to screw over Roman Reigns. Right? No. We saw Braun Strowman laying on the side. Because his briefcase was all the way at the top. Because Brock threw it. Roman closed the show, holding up the title. I'm like, oh my. We did it. He did it. And the thing that makes me a little bit intrigued here is I've been looking and seeing what people that went to the show said and what was depicted on television. They said it was a very loud crowd of boos for Roman. I didn't hear it. I did not hear it. They definitely adjusted his audio. Because at the beginning, you hear Roman Reigns being booed. But when Roman Reigns actually comes out, when his music first hits, massive boos. Then it just dies out. You start hearing people cheer for him. Like, okay, it's Roman. They actually got him over. No, buddy. They didn't get him over. Roman isn't over. Roman will not be over until Paul Heyman joins him tonight on Monday Night Raw. If that does not happen, he won't be over. Roman Reigns also will not be over until he is heel. I don't care if it's with Paul Heyman, AOP, what it is. Heck, align with Braun Strowman somehow. Make some weird alliance where he won't cash in on you. I don't care. As long as Roman Reigns is a heel, he will be successful. But as long as he is not a heel, I'm still going to hate on his title reign. Roman Reigns does not deserve his Universal Championship. And I am going to be done with this video. Anyways, see you guys next time. Greenberg Gamers Goon. I will talk to you guys after Monday Night Raw, I guess. See you guys after this video.